We are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports? I hope all of you are making it a good one. We know that we are as well. Sorry I am late. I did not intend on being late. It was not my fault. This old vet says 2 minutes after the hour. I'm about to panic. I am sorry that we are late. But nevertheless, we got a very good show in store for you tonight. That kid, Jayden, about to win the Heisman. We'll talk about that. How LSU right now is going about not only with the Heisman, we'll talk about the electric season of Jayden Daniels. Not only that, but what LSU is doing not only in high school recruiting at that position, but as you see now, what they are doing in the transfer portal, what type of quarterbacks they are going after in the transfer portal. How does that shake up LSU's offense going into next season? I don't think very much. I think they're trying to add some very quality depth, but nevertheless, that's not stopping Joe Sloan from going out there and making things happen. MJ Morris's name continues to pop up, but also sophomore quarterback Taylon Green from Boise has a visit scheduled for LSU along with BYU, Cal, Oregon State, and Arkansas. So clearly LSU is going after some guys in the transfer portal. Also, look at this. Potentially a DC candidate for LSU is technically now off the board. He was earlier this morning, but now it's complete. Manny Diaz just went off the board here. Manny Diaz just went off the board. So, hey, man. Okay. Tony says he's watching from Alcatraz. Yeah, they put Tony in Facebook prison. They put Tony in Facebook prison. I better not even say that. But tonight's going to be a little bit more of an old school show. We'll talk on some topics tonight. I answer as many questions in here from the chat as I can. So if you don't remember what a lot of the old shows were like, we would fire this bad boy up. I would damn near go comment by comment by comment by comment. We would talk about it. We would answer it. We're going a little old school tonight because that's exactly what we're going to do here. I assume coaching staff will be up. We'll talk about the portal. We'll talk about Jayden Daniels. We'll go around the SEC. But mainly tonight, we'll do hashtag Ask Blake. Thoughts, questions, concerns. Do it right now. I'm going line by line answering your questions. You have them. Hashtag Ask Blake. I'm going to do everything I can to answer all of those questions here tonight. So that's how we started AYS off when we started the podcast, answering your questions. We'll do that here. Aaron Adams says they are trying to fire that guy, Sunbelt Billy, hashtag Florida. Well, Billy got some bad news today. Is the best, I'm going to say one of the best, if not the best offensive weapon that he has, Trevor Etienne, hit the transfer portal. Does LSU kick the tires on that? Here's the truth. Look, man, I think 1,000% they need to kick the tires on that. Let me tell you why. I don't know if Josh Williams and Noah Cain are going to stay an extra year. I mean, Josh Williams, guys, has been here since 2019. I don't know if he stays around here anymore. With that being said, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. Maybe Noah Cain does, maybe Noah Cain doesn't. But there could be a potential chance that you have in your running back room Trey Holly, Caleb Jackson, and Caden Durham. You need more backs. If those two guys don't come back, you need more than 4 backs, in my opinion, and the multiple style of what Frank Wilson wants to do. So if a guy like Trevor Etienne goes into the portal, if a guy, let's see what happens. There's some backs over at Texas A&M. Does any one of those go in the portal? Looks like LSU is trying to poach some of those guys. Chase Basantis, look, I said this last night, and it kind of took off like wildfire today. Chase Basantis is a guy that you're trying to poach a little bit. So, look, there's a lot of things that are going on. I do think you kick the tires on Trevor Etienne. If he doesn't want to come here, hey, man, sorry about you. Not that Brian Kelly didn't try to get you there at the end. What's up with your boy Citizen out there in Miami? So, in my personal opinion, I wouldn't be surprised if LSU took a back. They need a back. They 1,000%, in my opinion, need a back. Real Ed O says he's watching from Angola. Harold says he's watching from Angola. Why are y'all all in Angola? Are we just the prisoner show? Man, where is everybody watching from tonight? Put it inside the chat. You in the 337? We're at in the 337. You out there in Ville Platte? Where are you? Tell us where you at. You in the 985? You in Franktown? You in Mandeville? You in the North Shore? Where are you? 225, represent 504. We don't get a lot of 504s in here either. We don't. They're all on the audio podcast. It's the wildest thing ever. Like, it's Baton Rouge on our audio podcast. It's New Orleans, Houston, Atlanta, Tampa. It's wild, dude. It's wild. Those are our main areas. Main areas. Eric says, do you think Jayden plays in the bowl game? I do not. I do not. Number one, I don't think I don't think that he should. I know people are going to get mad at me about that. I don't think he should play. 1,000% don't think he should play. JJ Pierce on YouTube says, hashtag Ask Blake, have you heard anything on the LA Rams D-line coach coming to LSU? I've seen a lot of your questions revolving Coach Henderson. Let's see what happens there. Let's see what happens. I would not be shocked, okay, if that would be the case. He was the D-line coach for Frank Wilson at UTSA. I think that they want to make a little bit of a splash there. All of that being said, they got to go get a really and the thing about Henderson, okay, the only thing, at least the only worry that I have, I don't know if he can recruit at this level. You know, I mean, can he? Can he show me wrong? Can he prove me wrong? Yeah, sure. 1,000% can prove me wrong. With all of that being said, however, I mean, the biggest program that he's recruited at or been at while he's recruiting is UTSA. And if there's a position group that you need stability, if there's a position group that you need somebody to recruit at a high level, it's defensive line. I'm not saying he's not qualified. And I think he's had some really good D linemen with the Rams. But the problem with that solely is, do you want a guy that, you know, that's unproven kind of when it comes to recruiting? That would be the question. Michael's in the 251. So is Tommy. Good to have you guys both here. Shreveport, Austin, Texas. Terry Delahousse says 3 top names for DC. I'm not going to tell you because I don't think we're going to get any 3 of them. That's the sad point. All right, and I do have some bad news. Some kind of bad news. Not going to be able to do an hour-long show tonight. Just extremely busy. We might even do an hour-long show. I don't know. I'm going to try to, but just in case that we don't, you've been warned. we will try. We will try. Danny England Sr. says that he's in the 985. He's in Abita Springs. Nice place over there, Abita Springs. Really nice place. Got a really good coffee place, and I think there's a seafood place in Abita, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. Really nice place. KJ says, hashtag Ask Blake, do you think that there will be future restrictions placed on the portal as far as times that a player can, as far as many times, I think is what you mean, player can transfer, other restrictions? Thanks. No, I do not. No, I do not. Nor do I really think that they should, to be honest with you. I mean, I just don't think that they should. Robert Richards says they're opening up a Cane's in Woodstock, Georgia. How about that? I tell you this every time. That's where my brother that's where my brother lives. Called me on the show last night. Called me when we were live on the show. He knew better. Marvelous in the 504. Good to have you here. Good to have you here with us. Chris H is in the 504. He says, I'm 504. Good to have you here too, my friend. Inside the show. Father Abear says, New Iberia stand-up 504 is always on audio because they stuck in traffic. That's probably the truth. It's probably the truth. Father don't lie. Father don't be lying. All right, a couple more, then we'll get rolling a little bit. Rick Kelly says, Blake, did you see all the huff and puff that Alabama sites are claiming that Milrose should have been invited to the Heisman Trophy ceremony? Guys, I'm not on boards. I mean, we have our own board. You can go find it, ayssnetwork.com/forum. I'm not on other boards. I didn't see it. If they're mad, Alabama fans have no reason to be mad. You just snubbed Florida State. And even though I think it was right for them to get that playoff spot, I know I've taken a lot of heat for that this week because, I'm an LSU dude and I shouldn't be. People think I'm cheering for Bama. I'm not cheering for Bama. I hope every one of their coaches gets explosive diarrhea. Paul's disgusting. I know. I don't like them. Nevertheless, I think they got it right. Jalen Milroe had no business being in the guys that were invited. I don't think Marvin Harrison Jr. should have been invited, to be honest with you. If that's going to be the dude that you invite, I don't think that he should have been invited. I know. Very graphic. I get it. Old Vet says, I got your back on that. Well, which one? The Alabama part or the explosive diarrhea part? Pause. That's the last time I mentioned that. All right. D. Smith says, hashtag Ask Blake, what portal do you feel is a must for LSU? I think what you're asking is, what is a must that we should go get in the portal? I'm going to come back to that. Denham Springs in the hizzy. I bookmarked your question, D. Smith. I'll come to that first right outside the break. JJ says, I wonder why he would come from the NFL to LSU on a lateral coaching move. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Maybe that the Rams have not had a good year. Probably that staff's going to get fired. I don't think Sean McVay's going to get fired, but they're not having a good season whatsoever. All right. We'll come back. That kid, Jayden Daniels, going to win the Heisman this weekend. We'll talk a little bit about that, but in case you're just joining us, if you got thoughts, questions, concerns, put hashtag Ask Blake. We're going old school tonight. I'm going to answer as many of your questions inside the show tonight as I humanly and possibly can. So let's take a quick break. Let's talk about our good friends over at betonline.ag, our good friend over at eXp Realty, Tyler Alexander. Don't go anywhere. We're back next. We answer all of your questions. Fire him in here now. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BELIEVE50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man, he's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler, he'll shoot you straight.
Tyler Alexander is a local realtor right here in the Denham Springs, Louisiana area, and he services the entire South Louisiana area as well. Tyler is ranked in the top 2% of EXP realtors in the entire state. Buying or selling a home can be very stressful, but Tyler will make that process stress-free for you and your family and provide a customer experience for you, not just a customer service. Give him a call or text today on his personal cell, 225-955-0008. That's 225-955-0008, and let him get your home sold or transitioned you into a new one.
We're back. All right. So in case you missed it, fire inside your questions. We'll get to as many of them as we can. D. Smith says, Blake, what do you feel that LSU needs to get in the transfer portal? What is this? Hold on, guys. My wife just sent me a critical alert thing. I don't know what that is. Check and see where she's at. Hold on. Don't leave me. Don't leave. I don't know what that means. Hold on. All right, my wife was calling me. Ben had her phone. All right, they were on their way home. All right, he pressed like some critical alert thing, and I kind of freaked me out. D. Smith says, Blake, I've read this question 3 times. You could see it's on the damn screen. Sorry if you're on audio podcast, you've already heard it. I think number one, without question, they got to go after interior defensive linemen. There are guys out there. Look, I've been asked by a multitude of people, Blake, do you think we have a chance of Walter Nolan? No, I do not. I think you need to get that shit out your head right now. LSU's not going after Walter Nolan. Now, do I think that they would pursue him if NIL was not the number one thing that, his camp is after? Then, yeah, I do. And I just don't think LSU is wanting to get into that battle with him. And look, he has, I think, was a career 4 sacks. I mean, he's a great player. He's a really good player. He would do some really good things at LSU. I just don't think that LSU is wanting to get into that battle with him. I think there's guys like LT Overton that make a lot of sense, okay, that you can go after. I just don't think that you're getting into the mix with D-line. I think you're going after some wide receivers. I could see LSU getting a pair of them. There's a couple of Louisiana guys in the portal that I think make a lot of sense. I think Xavier Thomas makes a lot of sense. I think Will Shepard makes a lot of sense. So we'll see at receiver because both of your top receivers are leaving. Try to get as much talent in that room as you can. I think Kyron Lacey returns. I had a question here from Dontrell. He asked if I thought that Kyron Lacey comes back. Yeah, he needs to. He needs to. And look, I think Kyron's gotten better every year in every game that he's gotten here. The kid has completely developed himself, and he's gotten better. So, yeah, I do think that he comes back. He needs to come back. I mean, look, he might be a 5th, 6th, 7th round guy, mainly due to, how big bodied of a receiver he is and how well he blocks. If he can come back and work himself into a 3rd, 2nd, 3rd round pick. So, yeah, I think that he needs to come back. Hal Jubin says, Blake, who would have been the 4th guy that you invited for the Heisman? I'm going to give a little bit of a hot take there, Hal, and a lot of people want to agree with me on this. I would have invited Carson Beck from Georgia, the quarterback at Georgia. Let me tell you why. I think Carson Beck had a really good year, okay? A lot of his weapons were hurt. He had key offensive linemen hurt. He had his 2 top pass catchers out. He didn't have a really good running game because he had running backs that were out, and he played lights out. Me personally, I would have invited Carson Beck. Now, you would say to yourself, well, it's just a quarterback-friendly thing if you say that. Well, yeah, it is because it's the most important. It's just the most important position. And I think he led them there. Now, you could say, well, what about Milroe? Milroe beat him. Well, Milroe didn't even play in a game, right? So I don't think Marvin Harrison Jr. had any business being there whatsoever. Not at all. Mac Washington says, #AskBlake, how many defensive portal players do you think BK will take? Well, I didn't answer that last part. I think he takes 2 from the D line. I think they take 3 or 4 from the DBs, maybe 3. And that might be it. I don't know if they take a backer. At least I don't think that there's been one that has entered the portal that they would take. So with that being said, could there be a player that hits the portal that LSU would take at the linebacker position? Yes. But I think you got some guys that you're going after. I think you go after some receivers. I think Chase Pasantis makes a lot of sense. You were in it in recruiting him. Last year, kid started a lot of games at right tackle. The kid, if Garrett Dellinger moved on or whatever happened, he's instantly can come in and play guard for you. If Emory Jones wants to stay out there at tackle, what do you do with Lance Hurd? You do need a center. I think DJ Chester is going to make a very big impact there. So, look, they got more depth along the offensive line than any position group. The offensive line is the most talented group on the entire team, from top to bottom. So, all I would say is that I think you might add 1, maybe 2 at a position group. I really do believe that you need a transfer running back. Considering if Williams doesn't come back, considering if Noah Cain doesn't come back, I think you need to go add a back. I know Caden Durham might not like that, but it's just the truth. If Frank's going to rotate guys in and out there like that, I think you should go after a back. Now, let me say this. I hadn't heard that you are. I know that you're going after all those other positions. I know you're going after DB. I know you're going after defensive lineman. I know that you're going after a quarterback in the portal. What I hadn't heard yet is that LSU is doing things in the portal at running back. Now, can that quickly and easily change? Yes. Is there a guy in mind that they would want to take if they were to hit the portal? Yes. I just don't know or have not heard yet that they're doing that. Again, could get off this show, instantly could change and with the snap of the fingers. So we'll see. We'll see. Douglas asks, #AskBlake, Trevor Etienne, a target for LSU. I think that they will kick the tires on that. But I don't think the kid's going to give us any time of day, to be honest with you. I don't think the Etienne's – I think they're holding too much of a grudge. So, with that being said, yeah, I just don't see it. Hello? Ben's trying to get in here. Come on, dude. Open the door. What's up, dude? Daddy's on the show now. We're live. What you got in your hand, boy?
A baseball.
A baseball?
Yeah.
What you got in this hand? Baseball glove? You love baseball, don't you?
Yeah. Hey, Dad, guess what?
What, dude?
There was a Lego Fortnite.
A Lego Fortnite?
Yeah.
Where at?
At the PlayStation.
At the PlayStation? Oh.
Now it moved. Now there was a. Now it was doing Daniels now. Now.
Well, no, hold on now. How was your day?
Good.
What'd you do today?
I don't know.
How do you not know?
I know I went to school.
You went to school. What else?
I don't know.
What did you do at school, silly goose? What did you play outside? You go to recess? You hug any girls? What?
I didn't go outside.
You didn't go outside?
Yeah.
Did you hug on any girls?
No.
Why not?
Because
Because what?
She only eat because goes.
All right, go play. Good to see you, man. Huh? Okay. A transformer. All right. Head out. I'll be out in just a second, okay? Okay, Daddy's on the show. All right, close the door, boy. It's all right. I'll be done in just a minute. He hadn't made an appearance on the show in quite some time. He hadn't made an appearance, so yeah. Good to see old Ben back in the fold. He's so ready for Christmas, dude. JJ Pierce says, "Who's your favorite baseball player?" I'm pretty sure. I mean, dude, he loves Tommy Tanks. He freaking loves Tommy Tanks. Stephen Fry, good friends over at Fry Construction, Eunice, Louisiana. Stand up. Dirt work inspections, dirt work inspections. Here it is, right here. Site work, land development, oil and gas services, commercial construction, aggregate and soil hauling, waste containers, demolition. They do it out there. Do it all out in Eunice, all over the place. Give them a call. Let them know that Blake sent you on by. But Stephen asked, he says, #random ask Blake, what was your nickname in high school, Big Daddy? Girls call me Big Daddy. It's your boy, Big Daddy. Women love me, man. I look, man. I was cursed at birth with women loving me, dude. I don't know what it is. I really don't. They love me. Like, I am not good looking. Women love me. So maybe it's the money. Maybe it's the. Women love me, man. They want to call me on my cell phone. Our good friend Ryan Williams over the Drake Williams Law Firm says girls got them cooties that Ben knows that. Yeah? Yeah? Dylan sends 4 laughing face emojis. Okay. C. King says, he says, yeah, I'll head out now. I appreciate that, C. I appreciate that. Girls love me, man. They love me. Don't tell my wife. It's your boy, Big Daddy. D on Facebook says, #Ask Blake, is Corey Raymond coming home? Wouldn't shock me. Also wouldn't shock me if he doesn't. Look, I'll continue to say this until I'm blue in the face. I'm not a Corey Raymond hater. I don't hate Corey Raymond. I don't think that, I have no issues with him coming back. But I do think that there's questions. I don't think that you can allow Corey Raymond to come back and there not be questions. Okay? Look, again, just because he did something in the past, like I heard people say, I heard somebody have a take, well, from 2012 to 2018, he was this, and this. Look, let's call it what it is. I went 4 years to, speaking of nicknames, okay, I went 4 years of school, 4 years, or actually 5 years of college, 5 years of college, and I look at some of them girls out there now, they don't look like they used to do in college. Same can be with coaching. Like, just because a girl used to be hot, just because a coach used to be really good, don't mean they good now. Don't mean that baby ain't bad to the bone. Back in the day. I know all of you trying to holler at old girls back in the day, but she might be bad then, or she was bad then, might not be bad now. Sometimes coaches aren't good anymore. I'm not saying Corey's not good. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is that there's questions. He's not DBU. Whoever comes up with that Rudy Poo ass argument, tell them to come call me. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. He's not DBU. You're giving him credit for dudes like Eric Reed, Brandon Taylor, Tyrann Mathieu. He ain't bring them dudes in here. He ain't developed them dudes. Stop that now. And even if he's the founder of DBU. Even if I would concede, bruh, the last 4 years, he's 90th in the country in passing yards allowed for his corners. I mean, what are we talking about? If I would have come out here and said, and then I heard people say, well, Blake, he was on bad teams. And then how did he recruit at such a bad level? And how has both teams, like there's one common denominator and 6-6 teams? It's Corey Raymond. Come on now. JJ says this show is off the rails now. Yeah, it completely went off the rails. Conrad says charismatic Blake, that'll take you a long way with the ladies. Probably true. You're probably true. They used to call me on my cell phone, hashtag Drake. All right, fire in your questions. Hashtag Ask Blake. We'll get to as many of them as we can. Let me scroll up to get to some of these. Harold says Malik should have gotten the Heisman vote. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with Malik getting the Heisman Trophy appearance or him being there with Jayden. I don't hate that. But here's the truth. I don't think that Malik. I just think Carson Beck meant more for his team. I think he had a better overall year from the position groups that they played in. And look, Malik went stupid. I mean, he went off. But I wouldn't put him there. If I was going to invite a receiver, though, let me say this. If I was going to invite a receiver, it sure as shit would have been Marvin Harrison Jr. over Malik Neighbors. I promise you that. I promise you that. He's led the SEC in back-to-back years in catches. Paul's up. Martin says, Ole Miss's 2024 schedule now is leaked. We host the Rebels on October the 12th. I don't like that. I want this game to be played on Halloween weekend. I don't like that, Paul's up. Why are all these schedules getting leaked? Y'all saw Georgia's got leaked the other day? Bruh. Y'all want to talk about what's the word? I don't want to say screwed. Georgia got screwed, bro. They screwed Georgia up. Hold on. I think I got it right here. Hold on. It was in my notes for Ruffino and Joe show. Hold on. I got it in here somewhere. Here it is. Georgia's schedule next year: Clemson, Rudy Poo Tech, at Kentucky, at Alabama, Auburn, Mississippi State, at Texas, neutral site game against Florida, at Ole Miss. So 3 away games: Tennessee, UMass, Georgia Tech. Georgia got screwed. And look, people said they had a weak schedule this year. Okay, that's cool. They played more ranked teams in the month of November than anybody. And December. They play more ranked guys. They played Tennessee ranked at the time that they played them, Missouri ranked at the time that they played them, Ole Miss ranked at the time that they played them, and obviously Alabama at the time that they played them. And they were supposed to lead off the year against Oklahoma, but for whatever reason, they wouldn't let them play. But see, here's the thing. Why would you not let them play? Because they're not even playing next year. In 2024, they're not even playing Oklahoma. They're going to Texas. Like, I don't get that. I don't know. That makes no sense. But you know what's crazy? If that was the thing with Oklahoma and Georgia, and the SEC admitted to, like Greg Sankey admitted to the Georgia-Oklahoma thing. Like, it's not something like, oh, that's just a secret. Greg Sankey literally admitted to it. So, with that being said, then why did you let Texas and Bama play this year? They don't know what they're doing. Looks like Stefan just got to the part in the show where I call myself a big daddy. Paul Sub says, I don't like it either. I was actually hoping for a November game this go around, but seeing it in October makes me nervous for some reason. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're beating this at home no matter what happens. C. King says, Blake, you got to ask yourself, or he just says in general, You have to ask yourself, why was Corey Raymond fired at Florida? Well, the excuse is that BK or Billy found out that him and BK were talking all the time, and that BK was doing that to bring him back. Well, that's a one-sided story. And what I would tell people is when you believe some stuff, you better be careful when you don't get both sides of the story. So don't believe everything you hear. Don't believe everything you hear. Don't do it. Don't do it. Maurice says, house staying put, Blake. I know I don't like it as much as you don't. It's now looking more and more likely. I don't think he's calling plays next year. He might get demoted. He might get pushed into another role like Brian Polian. He might coach another position group and just be a position coach. I don't think he's calling plays. That LSU, he ain't gonna do that. Mad Dog J says, hashtag Ask Blake. Shout out from the 619, Ray Mysterio in the house. Says, where do you see our recruiting class finishing at what rank? I don't know what they're ranked at right now, to be honest with you. I look at rankings, right? Like I'll look at recruiting rankings, but I really don't look at them like that. I look at what you have as a class. Did you bring in good offensive line class? Yes. Did you bring in a good receiver class? Yes. DBs, I think that you had a decent DB class, specifically at safety. Could be better, but it is what it is. I thought you got a really good linebacker class, really good. I mean, Caden Durham's your only running back. You have Colin Hurley, but it looks like you're definitely going after other quarterbacks, like guys like MJ Morris from NC State, who I think has a lot of potential. I think MJ Morris has a shitload of potential. And NC State, man, they were 9-3 this year. So 8-3 going into that last game against Drake May and the boys. NC State took them down. Let me look and see. Hold on one second. Because I remember watching that game. Hold on. NC State versus NC box score football. Yeah, 39-20. 39-20. Armstrong came back in that game. The quarterback, 334 yards, 3 touchdowns. I remember that. So, I mean, he's getting out of that situation. He's getting out of that situation. Let me look at this, too, because I went and watched some MJ Moore stuff today. So if you don't know who MJ Morris is, he's in the transfer portal. He played at North Carolina State, 63 completions on 113 attempts. He had 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions on 719 passing yards. Didn't really have anything rushing. I think he has a lot more ability than he's showing. 32 attempts, 15 carries. Didn't really have a lot of the ability and chance to get things going there, in my opinion. So we'll see there. And look, I think that if any quarterback went in the portal right now, you could have a conversation with him. I think that your LSU is not entertaining guys like Will Rogers. I think Will Rogers is going to Washington. I think that Dylan Gabriel could be going to Oregon, Mississippi State. But I trust Joe Sloan at what he's seeing at quarterback more than anybody in the country. More than anyone. So, look, man, we'll see. But I trust him more than anybody. What I will tell you, okay, is pretty simple. Hold on one second. Anyway, I think, it is what it is. No, don't do it. You need to stop. Oh, Ben, man. Dude, I should just video Ben 24/7. Y'all think that shit's hilarious. Really, I said I heard Billy wanted to fire him to prevent his firing or to prevent his hiring, maybe. Colin says, I love you, Blake. The ESPN Rudy Poos have nothing on you. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, they don't like me at all. They hate me. I'm just going to take the gloves off. They don't like me at all, but I don't give a fuck. So look, let me say this too, because we're about 42 minutes in. I got about 5 minutes. Look, this weekend, Jayden Daniels, obviously you've already seen some of the stuff on social media, is heading to Baltimore. Johnny Unitas Award was recognized today. The ceremony is going on tonight for the Johnny U Award. Jayden Daniels, obviously the recipient of that. This weekend, Saturday, he will be in New York going for the Heisman Trophy. I've said this so many times, but that kid, Jayden Daniels, man, what he's meant to this program over the last 2 years is just insane. I think that Jayden Daniels, in my personal opinion, is the second best LSU player to ever play football at LSU. I think that Jayden is a guy, regardless of what anybody thinks, my opinion of him is his name and number should be in the rafters. Not in the rafters, but, you know, where they have Billy Cannon and all those guys that they have retired jerseys and everything they retired. Jayden Daniels' name and number should be up there. Guys, when you win a Heisman Trophy, that means something. Don't let what happened this year, especially what happened along the defense, cloud your judgment of what you saw Jayden Daniels do. We did not just see greatness. We saw an elite level quarterback for 12 straight games, and quite honestly, a guy that developed right in front of your eyes, just like Joe Burrow did. Right? He's one of the best. If some can say with what he does with his legs, it's yin and yang with him and Burrow, because Jayden Daniels is one of the best. If not, some would say, I've had some arguments with people, not arguments, but debates on why do you think Jayden Daniels is better than Burrow? Why do you think Burrow is better than Jayden? And it doesn't bother me, because in this studio, you have the picture of Burrow. You got all the stuff up here for him. Next one goes Jayden. You got Skeens over here. You got Cruz over here. When you see greatness, dude, it lives forever. Jayden Daniels deserves the next time that he comes to Louisiana, if you see him out eating somewhere, guys, when he wins that Heisman Trophy, he should never pay for another meal in this state. Because I know, your Meemaw knows, my Meemaw knows that regardless, Jayden Daniels did everything this year for you to win a national title. It's not his fault. His defense was ass. And every single week, they were ass. So, yeah, Joe Burrow is going to win that award, and good on him. Michael Morse with a $4.99 super chat says, the Tim Bailey show, I've seen he's made some very wild accusations on me. Needs to find another job because he has trash takes on football. Maybe he could cover lacrosse or something. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, that guy has on social media, for whatever, I don't know the guy. The guy's got like 200, like 4 subscribers, but he's got a little following on Twitter. He attacks me personally, all because I said Jayden Daniels is going to be the Heisman Trophy winner. Like, are you that stupid? Like, look, bro, it honestly looks like that guy Tim Bailey ate crayons as a kid. Just being honest. I think he's no. I don't really know that guy, but he sure as hell runs his mouth a lot. David says the comparison cannot be the same. One was a pocket, one was a dual threat. I mean, it can be, because Jayden had a lot of the same numbers that Burrow had. Completion percentage, passing yards per game. I mean, Joe was obviously bigger, but just yards per game. I mean, Jayden has more yards per game than what Joe did. Doesn't have more touchdowns, but yeah, I mean, you can't really make the comparison. They're the best two LSU players of all time. I'm not going to pit them against one another. I got to see both of them within a 5-year span. Both of them are elite college quarterbacks at LSU. I'm not gonna. No way. All right, a couple more. Fire in your questions. Hashtag Ask Blake. Take as many more, or take a couple more before we get out of here. Got about another 7 minutes, 5 minutes. I said 5 minutes 5 minutes ago. Michael also says hashtag Ask Blake. I can't say that. Bo Nix will make a great NFL scout team QB on a practice squad. Maybe. JJ Pierce says, ask Blake, MJ Morris or Taylon Green? MJ Morris or Taylon Green? The only reason that I'm hesitating is that I have not seen enough of Taylon Green that for like me to go and like watch him. But Taylon Green's a big dude. Like, bro, he's sick. Like he's like 6'6", 6'5", 6'7", something like that. Dude's big. Dude's a freak though. Like as an athlete, dude's a freak. I think it just all depends on what you're looking for stylistically. He's not going to burn away from you running the football. He's got a pretty big arm. I mean, look, he ran. I think he's more of a power guy, man. He's a big dude. I wouldn't mind Taylon Green. And I got to tell you, I think Taylon Green can come in here. I mean, look, I think he's, if I'm not mistaken, still a sophomore, a redshirt sophomore. He's got some time to develop and come into something. So, I mean, look, he had 9 touchdowns rushing this year, 10 touchdowns the year before. I wouldn't mind Taylon Green. I think he's got a lot of upside. Wouldn't bother me at all. Adrian Bailey says, at Blake, you are all right with the Tim Bailey, damn Tim. Maybe Adrian means that I was right about the Tim Bailey thing. Yeah, man. I mean, yeah. Thank you for the super chat. Dude, like, attacks me on Twitter, like, personally for no reason. Like, just personal shots for no reason. Richie Evans with a $4.99 super chat. I appreciate that, Richie. If you got a question, fire it inside the chat, and I'll read it to go along with this. Oh, he's got one right here. He says, I got you back, Blake, from the 318. Keep up the good work, brother. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. 318. 3-1. Great. I appreciate that, Richie. Yeah, we were up there not too long ago in the 318. Love the 318. Pretty women up there in the 318. Way down yonder on the Chattahoochee. I do love the 318. Great place to be, man. Y'all are not South Arkansas, as they claim. D. Smith says, hashtag Ask Blake, are you worried about Sampson, Brown, or Parker getting discouraged when adding more transfers at their position? Yeah, they could. Yeah, they could. I mean, hit the portal in. I mean, look, man, I got to tell y'all something. And I got to tell y'all something. It doesn't, like, I don't want to lose big name dudes. Like, have we lost? I mean, we hadn't really lost a lot of big guys under Kelly yet. You don't want to lose like a Harold Perkins, right? Like, come on. But if a kid hits a portal, a kid hits a portal. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It does not bother me. Go. See ya. I don't know how y'all feel about it. A lot of people didn't want Eli Ricks going to the portal and got his ass smoked by a 3-star. The only reason that Malik Neighbors got moved up, you know it and I know it, was because he decommitted from Mississippi State and came to LSU. Only reason. Only reason. Andrea LeBlanc says, is Nuss starting next year? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think Nuss is starting next year. Don't get twisted about me talking about transfer quarterbacks. Look, it's like the old saying goes. I'll open up the curtain a little bit and let you look behind the curtain of things that we're hearing. I mean, even before the portal opened, I think like 3 weeks ago, the question got brought up about Nuss. And I'm like, guys, they're going to go in the portal. And I did the whole thing of why I don't think Ricky is ready, especially with his throwing motion. If you remember that episode, he goes down, up, shift to the hips, and then throws. Got a long delivery. You know, like most quarterbacks, when they throw, talk to anybody that is a head coach, QB coach, they'll tell you they want the swing, meaning you're here to throw, versus a shortstop Jordan Thompson long-ass delivery. He's got to get better there. I think that they're showing that they have a style of quarterback that they want to go after, that being of the mobile persuasion, guys that can run. With all that being said, I don't think that you're going to see true pocket dudes under Brian Kelly, nor do I care about that. Who am I calling what, Cedric? Who am I calling what? But do I think Nuss starts? Yes. I don't. Nuss. Why would Nuss hit the portal? He's going to start next year. Cedric, who am I calling what? Michael Moore says, I do wish we could have seen some more of Trey Bradford. Yeah. The way that he looked in that first drive is true. That's true. Thank you for the super chat, Michael. That's true. Just never worked out, man. That kid's had such a wild career. That dude's had such a wild career, man. Like, what's up with that, man? What's up with that? I don't get it. Like, I really don't get it. LT Overton will visit South Carolina this week. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. Don't like it at all. LSU, South Carolina, though. Just anyone wondering. All right, we got to roll. We will see y'all maybe Saturday. I've got a lot of family stuff going on, man. So I wanted to do a show Saturday night after the Heisman Trophy ceremony. We'll see. We'll see. Till then, y'all have a good one. Thanks for always being here for us, man. We appreciate it. Till next week. Peace.